everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my October TBR video. Now I know I've done so many TBR videos recently, I promise. This is the last one for a while, but I just get so excited about all of my fall spooky reading plans that I love to share them with you guys, so I hope this is okay. I think I have 9 books that I want to go through in this video, so not too many, nothing crazy. I definitely still want to be able to read all of these books in October, but I still feel like I have a decent selection. Obviously, they are all very spooky, Halloween-y books. So maybe you guys can also get some ideas for your own October TBR. But actually, before we get into that, I do quickly want to talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Ana Luisa. Now, I'm sure some of you guys know I've worked with Ana Luisa many times. They are a longtime supporter of this channel, so I'm really excited to be working with them again. If you guys don't know, Ana Luisa is an online jewelry company, and they have so many beautiful pieces. I wear so much of their jewelry every single day of my life, so obviously I would highly recommend. Not only that, but they do have such an amazing sustainability mission. I love their focus on the planet and how their products impact the planet. And I know finding sustainable jewelry items can be kind of expensive sometimes, but Ana Luisa is a great place to check out because they have pieces starting as low as $39. And their pieces are also so long lasting. I have pieces from them that I've gotten over 2.5 years ago that I still wear every day, and they still look like they're new because all of their pieces are strength and humidity tested, so they are going to stand the test of time. So I definitely love all of that. Now let me show you a couple of pieces that they sent me recently. I wanted to try something a little bit different for the fall, so I decided to go with some gold jewelry. I'm sure you guys have noticed, but like all of my jewelry is silver. I love silver jewelry, it's just like my favorite, but I feel like for the fall, warm tones are definitely kind of more of a go-to, so I wanted to try out a couple of different things. Also, they introduced this new packaging, which is so freaking adorable. Like when I saw this, I was like, wait, this is so freaking cute, and it just like pops out like this. Or I guess I lied because these are silver earrings. The other two things are gold. But these are the Elise earrings in silver. They're just these very basic hoops with these little kind of stones hanging off of them. I feel like these are going to be just a really good addition to my everyday stack. Then we have a gold bracelet. All of the bracelets that I'm wearing today, by the way, are also from Ana Luisa. I love all of their silver bracelets and I do wear them like every day of my life. But we have a gold bracelet here. This is the Lucy bracelet. It just has these nice little stones throughout it, and I feel like this will be a nice little addition to my collection. And then finally we have the Ashley earrings. They are these very small kind of like ear hugging hoops with little pearls on them. I feel like those are gonna be a nice little like simple thing to throw on. If I'm not really wearing a ton of jewelry for the day, I feel like these will just be a really cute little accessory, but like not be too much. So if you guys want to check them out, I will have a link down to Ana Luisa in the description. Thank you again so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and to you guys watching as well for always supporting me and my channel. The fact that I get to do this is just absolutely amazing, and it is all thanks to you guys. So with that, let me get into the video by talking about all of the books that I want to read this October. So the first book that I have on here is The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. This is the second book in the Vampire Chronicles. I read Interview with the Vampire last year for Halloween, so I figured obviously this year I should read the second book in the series, and then hopefully next year I will read the last book in the series. I find Anne Rice's depiction of vampires to just be so interesting. This is an earlier take on vampires for me personally because a lot of the vampire things that I read have been written or made in the 2000s. So reading vampire stories that are written in the 70s, and I think this one was written in the 80s maybe? Yeah, 1985. It's just really interesting for me because it's just a different experience and I really enjoy that. I also am very interested to see what I think of Lestat after I read this book because so many people say they love Lestat, and after only reading Interview with the Vampire, I'm like, why? Because he's kind of awful in that book. So I'm very interested to see what this book offers as far as his character goes because I don't like that man, but maybe after this book I will. Then next up I have The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kiersten White. This book is obviously following Elizabeth Frankenstein, who I think is Victor's wife. I think in some versions of the story she's also his cousin maybe, but I'm really interested to see the story of Frankenstein through Elizabeth's perspective because obviously you don't really see a lot of her in the original classic. Like she's there, but she's not like there, you know? So I'm very eager to get into this one and just see what it's like. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. Like a lot of the people that I've seen read it, they really love it. I haven't read Frankenstein in a couple of years, but I feel like this will be a really interesting way to kind of revisit the story. Then I do have another Darcy Coates kind of haunted house type book, and that is The Haunting of Blackwood House. I believe this one is following our main character Mara, whose parents were spiritualists, so as she's grown up she hasn't really ever believed in ghosts in any capacity, but I believe she moves into a haunted house and those preconceived notions of ghosts not being real maybe challenged a little bit. I just really enjoyed the atmosphere of the other Darcy Coates book that I read, which was The Haunting of Ashburn House. I didn't love the conclusion. Maybe I won't like the conclusion to this one either, but I liked the rest of the book enough that I know I want to continue on with like all of her haunted house kind of books, so this is the only other one I have, so obviously it's gonna be this one. Although if you guys have any Darcy Coates recommendations, please do let me know. I think one of you guys said the Carol Haunt was pretty good, which I might also pick up in October because I read the synopsis of that one and that sounds kind of cool. So maybe that's like an honorable mention, maybe, that I'll read the Carol Haunt, because I think it involves somebody giving tours of a haunted house, which sounds like it could be really fun as well. So I'm hoping to read both of these. Then I do have my Patreon buddy read for the month, which I did make sure was appropriately spooky and gothic, and that is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. This is like a gothic tale of this woman who is getting married to this man who is like obsessed with mythology and folklore, and I feel like everybody that I've seen read this book absolutely loves it, so it has been on my radar for quite a while. So I'm really interested to get into this one and see what I think. I've never read a book by Roshani Chokshi before. I think I started The Gilded Wolves, like I read like a chapter of it and then I never continued. But this definitely seems like it's a little bit more up my alley, like a gothic fairy tale inspired story. Sounds really good. I mean, it says it's a darkly romantic page turner about love, lies, secrets, and betrayal, and the stories we tell ourselves to survive. That sounds so good. I'm very eager to get into this one. Then I have a book that I've put on my last 2 October TBRs and I've never gotten to, but my friends, this month, this October, it is the time. I'm gonna do it. If I don't do it, I'm gonna look like a clown, but I am gonna do it because I've had From the Dust Returned by Ray Bradbury since summer of 2022 and I still haven't read it, but it is time. Why does this feel so wobbly? Are you okay? Oh, there's a leaf in here. I think this is from last year. I don't know if that's gross or not. I'm gonna deal with that later. I've heard this one pitched as kind of an Addams Family type dynamic story. I believe we're following like this weird family that lives in this beautiful house. I mean, look at this. I just adore the cover of this book. It's so beautiful, but so weird at the same time. Like there's a tornado going on back here. There's this weird like flying thing back here. There's like an octopus coming out of the ocean, the Black Ocean. I have no idea. But I believe we're kind of focusing on this little boy who is not immortal, kind of in a family full of people that are immortal. I have no idea what this book is about, to be honest. Like that is my best guess. That's my best summary of what I know about it. But I feel like this is the kind of book that I want to go into not knowing anything. I definitely trust Ray Bradbury with a good spooky story. I've really enjoyed all of the other kind of like spooky stories that I've read from him, so I'm gonna read it. I'm going to read it, okay? Then I do have a little bit of a murder mystery book from the Queen of Mystery herself, Agatha Christie. Obviously, I'm going to read Halloween Party this month, even though I know this book is not that Halloween-y. Although I just want to say, what's with the marketing of this book? Like, it looks like it should be a Halloween book, but I know it's not. I believe there is a murder that takes place at a Halloween party in the beginning of this book, and then I think the rest of the book kind of takes place after that. So I'm fully expecting it to not be the immaculate Halloween vibes that I so desperately crave. Although, oh, I totally forgot about this. I'm thinking there's a book by Alice Feeney, I think, that's called Daisy Darker, which I think does take place on Halloween, and I think I was planning on reading that in October at some point. So maybe that's another like honorable maybe mention that I might read in October. If you guys have read that one and it has some Halloween vibes to it, let me know, because I think that's what I've heard, but I could be wrong. But I'm very interested to read another Hercule Poirot mystery. The couple, or maybe just one, that I've read, I didn't love. So I'm hoping that he will redeem himself in this one. I still do need to read a Miss Marple one. I was gonna read Murder at the Vicarage in like August and I still haven't done it. At some point, I'll get to it at some point, but I do really want to try and read Halloween Party this month. Then I do have a non-fiction book, which I started during Summerween. I haven't started it again because obviously I wanted to wait for October to restart it, and that is Trick or Treat: A History of Halloween by Lisa Morton. I made it up to page like 30. So I have a while to go. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one in October or not, but I would like to make a decent chunk of progress in it. I feel like a non-fiction book about Halloween has to be read in October. You know, like it would feel wrong if that's not what I was doing. So I'm quite interested to get back into this one. I found what I've read so far to be really interesting, and you know, it provided me with a couple of new facts and whatnot that I really enjoyed learning about. So it's time to get back into it and hopefully read a decent chunk of this in October. And then the last book that I have on this TBR is maybe the one that I am anticipating the most. I'm not sure, but that is Slewfoot by Brom. This is definitely a book that I want to save for closer to Halloween. There's just something about witches in colonial America that screams Halloween to me, so maybe it's because of Hocus Pocus. You know, it might be because of Hocus Pocus. Obviously, this book will be nothing like Hocus Pocus. I know this is like a very scary book. A couple of you guys have told me that like it's pretty scary, which I'm very excited for because I don't read a lot of scary books, but I feel like this one is also going to have like a stunning atmosphere to it. But I believe our main character is recently widowed and she kind of feels like an outcast in the village now, so she turns to the devil for some company maybe. And obviously her village is very pious, so the fact that she is, you know, taken up with the devil a little bit, I think that's going to lead to some very interesting conversations in this book. I know there are also some, I don't want to call them stunning because I don't know if I'd say they're stunning. Like, they're beautiful, but they're very weird illustrations in this book. So I feel like that's just going to add to the experience of reading this. I'm really excited about it because I've seen so many people read it and so many people really, really love it. So this is a book that I've been meaning to read for quite a while and I'm just very happy that I finally have a copy. So bam. Those are all of the books that I want to read in October. I wanted to keep it, you know, like kind of chill. I don't want to go crazy with all of the books that I want to read in October, but I feel like 10-ish is a good number. Obviously, I would love to know down below what are some of the books that are on your October TBR. Do we share any of the same books? We could chat about that. Or if you guys have any other recommendations for me based on the books that I talked about in this video, I would love to know those as well. Also, before we go, I would again like to thank Ana Luisa so much for sponsoring this video. Again, if you want to check them out, I will have a link to them down in the description. I would also like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. As I said, this month we are reading The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, and we are also having a super fun readathon in mid-October. I think it's next weekend. If you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm posting it, which I cannot wait for. I'm so excited. But yeah, I think that's everything that I have to share with you guys at the end of this video. I'm actually going to let you go. I hope you're all having an amazing Friday or whatever day it is that you're watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!